Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we are taking a look at another Jack Wolf knife that is dropping today. As a matter of fact, it should be available right now. And I was going to say a brand new Jack Wolf, and technically this is a new Jack Wolf, but it's the first re-release of a previous model. It happens to be the very first model that Jack Wolf brought out. And if you know Jack Wolf, you know what I'm talking about. If you're more like me and you haven't followed Jack Wolf from the very beginning, what we're talking about is the Jack Wolf Knives Sharpshooter Jack. And I happen to get, personally, I think this is the best variant, the Fat Carbon Dark Matter Glow version. And let me tell you guys, it is so sweet. Let's get in here and take a look. Let's go through the unboxing experience. Obviously, I have already had this out of the box. Technically, the knife's not even in the box because once it went in my pocket, it wasn't coming out. But let's take a look at what comes in the package here. You get your normal amazing artwork that you get on every Jack Wolf knife that is unique to the knife. So this is the Sharpshooter Jack Edition artwork. And this one's actually probably the coolest one I've seen so far. This one's really, really nice. Now, granted, I haven't handled quite as many Jack Wolf knives as a lot of other people. This is my third Jack Wolf knife, but man, oh man, it's cool. It is really cool. Very different, very unique. You have all that information there. Let's see what we got in here. You probably know. It's the typical stuff, but it's always cool. You have your unique kind of little pog topper here, the Sharpshooter Jack. And then you get your much larger than average microfiber cloth with the logo pressed into it. Usually the knife is rolled up in here, and then you have the leather slip in here. And then, of course, you also have, they're going to be difficult on me. You got two, and they're still not wanting to come out. I don't want to ruin them. There we go. You got the Sharpshooter Jack sticker. That is a really cool sticker. And you get two of them, so I'll leave one in there. This one's going on the knife box. But yeah, so that is everything you get. And then, of course, you get the slip, which is a very nice leather slip. And you get the part that's kind of the most important thing of the whole package. The knife, the Sharpshooter Jack in all its glory. This is a really, really good looking slip joint. And it has that same super crisp action that you get on every Jack Wolf slip joint. And one of the things that actually makes me most excited, like when I get a new Jack Wolf knife now, after handling the ones I handled at the former Blade shows and hearing what I've heard, one of the things that I'm always most interested about is just how strong the pull is on each one. Because each model, while the pull is super crisp and feels really good, it does actually differ a little from model to model. Some pulls are a little harder than others, and it's not from knife to knife, it's from model to model. So like the consistency between all of these Sharpshooter Jacks are going to be really, really, really good. But then like the After Hours Jack may have a softer or stronger or just a slightly different strength of pull to it, which I think is really cool. But before I get to talking too much more about this knife, let's take a look at some overall specs on just what we have here. We have an overall length coming in at 6.65 inches, a blade length of 2.91 inches, and a blade thickness at 120 thousandths. We have a clip point style blade with S90V, a wicked hollow grind that you get on pretty much every Jack Wolf knife. They come with some of the best, thinnest, razor sliciest grinds around. Fantastic grinds. I love the grinds. A handle length coming in at 3.74 inches. And as I said before, this one here has the Fat Carbon Glow, which I'll demonstrate that here in a second. Locking mechanism, there is none, of course. It's a slip joint. And this one has, I think this one has a slightly stronger pull than my other Jack Wolf slip joint that I'll pull out here in a second for size comparisons. Users obviously a left or right hand because there is no clip, so you just throw it in a pocket in this slip. And I will say, the way this slip carries in the pocket, it honestly, you don't even know it's there. Like it works so stinking well. Really nice, smooth slip. Really like that. Weight of 2.7 ounces and a price of $299. Now, let's take a look at some size comparisons here. I gotta wipe this off. My fingerprint is bothering me. This is too beautiful of a blade to just leave the fingerprint on, especially when I'm giving the review, the official Wayne Sharp World review. It's got to look good. Got to look good for its time on my small, average, not big channel. And let's take a look here at I believe this is the After Hours Jack. I'm so bad at names now. Obviously, this one is a locking knife, and it is longer. But we'll throw that one up there. And then my other slip joint. Okay, so one of these is the After Hours Jack, and now I can't even remember the name of the other one. There's too many at this point, but as you can see, pretty big difference there. It really is in between the two. Bigger than the Jack Wolf knife on the bottom, and yeah, smaller than the one on top. I'm going to start writing the names down on these things because that is the one thing it doesn't have. A lot of knives will have the names somewhere on them, but this one doesn't, which is actually nice. I do prefer that. It's a nice, much more cleaner presentation. Just comes down to my memory, having to remember it, so that one's on me. But yeah, as you can see, it is traditional slip joint size. What else do I have here to compare it with? A knife that other people would know. What do we got here? Well, I have this out. This is the Kaiser Escort. Obviously going to be much bigger. And then I also have the Kaiser Original XL, which is obviously going to be much bigger. So it'll at least put some type of size reference to it so you get a little better idea. But it is a good size knife. I would definitely put it kind of, by no means a fifth pocket knife, but I would put it in the small category. It's got a nice, I get a full 4-finger grip though, so it's not really that small, but I wouldn't consider it really a medium-sized knife either. Typical slip joint size. Let's move on from the size. The blade. I love this blade shape. It has a really nice combination of just a super razor thin, razor sharp flat edge, and then all the belly right at the end with a tip that's still actually really nice for piercing. This is still going to be a really good tip for piercing, and while it is thin, let's see, how do we get that there? While it is thin, it still has that little bit of, it got a little bit of strength up there. Not much, but it's got a little. Bottom line, it'll make for some really good piercing, and then the whole edge is just an absolute slicer. So really nice blade for EDC. And the handle here, this handle is super, super comfortable. The shape of it, it may look odd, but man, oh man, you put this thing in your hand and it is like so good to go. No complaints whatsoever on this. Really, definitely my favorite slip joint experience so far. Obviously only the second one from Jack Wolf Knives, but then the first Jack Wolf knife I had was obviously the best, but I do like this one a little more. I like the blade shape. I like the fact that it is a bigger knife in general compared to the other slip joint you saw in the size comparison. And the dark matter glow, let's take a look at that. Let's charge it. So actually, I'm going to turn the light off. So knowing that I'm going to turn the light off and I'm not the smoothest guy in the world, I'm going to close the knife. We're going to give it a good charge here. Get my light going. Well, there we go. Okay, so yeah, you just charge it really good, and then we'll go turn the light off, and you will see the magic of Fat Carbon Glow, because it really is good stuff. And like I said before, what I really like about Fat Carbon Glow is the fact that it doesn't look all dingy when it's not lit up. When it's not lit up, it just looks like marbled carbon fiber, which is very much my jam. So really like that. Now let's set it down, and hopefully I won't bump into the table as I go turn the light off, and we'll take a look at it under the camera. Take a look at that. Very nice. And it's kind of hard to see through the camera, but oh yeah, you can see it now. Very nice defined glow lines. It's really cool the way they mix that in there. It's a really nice even mix, and it just looks, it's awesome. It's just awesome. And then when the charge dies down, then you don't have to worry about it looking kind of like that milky color, that like the milky filler. It just looks like straight up carbon fiber when it's done. It looks, yeah, like that. So really cool material. Love that. And then again, just the, I can't emphasize to you guys enough how satisfying that is. If you like slip joints, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I may say it every time I review a Jack Wolf knife. It doesn't get any better than the action on a Jack Wolf knife. Now, I haven't handled the huge, super expensive slip joints from, all the super, super renowned makers that are hand making them and all that stuff. I'm sure those are great, but I tell you what, for the money, which is not cheap, for $300, you're not going to get anything better than this outside of a custom. I just don't think you are. Really, really love it. And another one in the books for Jack Wolf. But I will say, now that I'm seeing this, it really makes me want... There was a locking version with a front flipper that was very much like this. I can't remember the name of it now. It's escaped me, but it was a slightly bigger version. So hopefully that one comes back too. But yeah, if you are into slip joints, the Sharpshooter Jack is without a doubt one you should definitely check out. Very nice, very cool. Phenomenal action, phenomenal quality as always coming out of Jack Wolf knives. Let me know what you guys think of this one. This is going straight from the video back into my pocket. And until the next one, I'm out.